So my name's Jackie Jefferson. I've had the opportunity to meet most of you already, if not all of you, of course, through the admissions process. And we're very pleased to offer this event today with several panelists that represent a cross section of our HPA lower school community. I wanted to introduce you to some of the folks we have on our panel today. And each of them will say a little bit about their experience at HPA in our community. And we'd love for you to be able to add questions into the chat area. We might be able to get to them as we're moving through the conversation today. If not, we will get to them at the end in a Q&A. And if for any reason we run out of time, we'll respond to your questions individually and offline. So welcome, Correa family. I see that the Edneys have joined us, and the Duttons. Hi, everybody. Welcome, new kindergarten families. I know the Correas have first and fifth. We also have some families going into fourth, pretty much every grade. So, so welcome. We're gonna start things off today with Mr. Patrick Phillips, our head of school. And he is going to tell you a little bit about what brought him to HPA and say a few words. So go ahead, Patrick.
Aloha, everyone. Nice to see you all. My name is Patrick Phillips, and I am the head of school here. And thank you so much for joining us this afternoon to hear a little bit more about HPA in general and about our lower school in particular. You know, not only am I the head of school here, but I'm also a parent. And I was in your shoes just about 2 years ago as we were looking for a new school and moving with our youngest 3 children, one going into lower school, one going into middle school, and one going into upper school. And as we searched for that right place for our family, we came across HPA, and when we landed here and got to know a little bit about the people and the campus and the community, we could tell that there was this incredible sense, this real sense of community across both campuses. And it was something that I noticed, that my wife noticed, and all 3 of our kids noticed when they were here. And so I would just like to say to you that even though you're not able to come to campus to visit right now, when you are able to be on campus, you're going to feel that. And I think that's one of the most powerful draws of HPA, is that sense of belonging that everybody gets, whether you're joining us in kindergarten or joining us in upper school, that all those kids who join us feel that almost right away. And so I hope you're looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to meeting all of you in person, hopefully one day soon. In the meantime, we have some wonderful people here who are going to be sharing their stories with you, sharing their experiences with you. And I hope that you'll take this opportunity to listen, but also to ask questions and to make sure you know what you're stepping into and what you're in line for, because it's an incredible experience. So mahalo for joining us. I'll turn things back over to our admissions team.
Thank you very much, Patrick. Thanks for joining us. I know you might need to step out, so thanks for your time. And yeah, you'll be hearing more from Patrick Phillips. He has wonderful communications that come out to new families, and you'll be joining those communications in the weeks and months ahead. So thank you. And up next, I want to introduce you to Kathy Grant, our lovely administrator at the lower school campus, our lower school principal. She has worn many hats here at HPA, and she would love to share with you a little bit about her experience and about what we're doing at the lower school to make it such a special place for our students here.
Thanks so much, Jackie, and welcome to everybody. Yes, just briefly, so this is my 25th year at HPA. I began as a 5th grade teacher and did some administration when we were a K-8 program and had residential students. Then I returned to the classroom as a 3rd grade teacher, and then now as the lower school principal. So I've really been able to see our school from a teacher point of view and a leader point of view. And also my daughter graduated began in 3rd grade and graduated in 2003. So kind of seeing the school from all angles. So I wanted to share with you today a slideshow. So bear with me while I'm hoping that it loads beautifully. It's always the trick, and it's loading right now. Great. So I just want to go through a little bit about our lower school. And if you have questions, again, as Jackie said, just pop them in the chat and she'll be able to, or we'll be able to respond to them later. So this is a view, if you haven't been to our school, this is a view of our play, a part of our play area, a fairly big part of our play area. The buildings kind of in the middle are classrooms that are all on the lower floor, and we have faculty who live on the upper floor and support our high school residential program. The building on the far left is our Halianana, which is a multi-purpose building, and primarily used as our PE building. So lots of fun things to do on the playground. And then let me see if I can get this to move. Oh, there we go. Oh, sorry. There we go. All right. So I wanted to share some of our the lens through which we look at learning at school and teaching here at HPA. And so there, you'll see these 4 circles, and there are things that we speak with the children about, we look at when we're assessing, when we're designing curriculum, and we kind of begin with those core values of integrity, respect, pursuit of excellence, and wonder. And I think that the students who are on here will attest to the fact that these are talked about in pretty much every lower school assembly, and they're referred to frequently within the classroom. Then our core learning skills, we include those in a lot of our project learning when we're doing assessing and when we're designing. And I know that the 2 6th grade students who have completed their capstone learning can tell you that these are used in our capstone project work. And then it's kind of a circle going in many directions. So our sustainability wheel at HPA, Malama Kaia'ulu, we are really beginning to focus on that also within our school and shaping our thinking around these values, Hawaiian values, and using those in our whole school thinking. And then our core learning characteristics are really looking at students and their awareness of themselves and the community that they're in. So just a little bit about the Village campus. We have around 100 students. This year we have more. I think we have 109 right now. We have about 20 faculty, that includes our specialist teachers and our educational assistants and our office staff. Our class sizes range from 18 to 22 students, and there's one class per grade. The other piece that's an important part of our lower school is the Ohana Association, where parent support comes in. And we have really active and beautifully supportive families in supporting many of the things we're doing. Lower school philosophy, we really want to follow our mission in designing exceptional learning opportunities and honoring the traditions of Hawaii. So we really look at every year what's the current information out there about instruction, assessment, and learning. So we try to, as a faculty, meet and talk about these things. It's a little more challenging this year with all of our COVID safety protocols in place. Our curriculum is comprehensive. It's integrated with developmentally appropriate set of expectations. We want our students to learn to be responsible in this community. So there are opportunities for that, such as being on student council. We have a group called Peacemakers in a regular year. This year we haven't, where students in 4th and 5th grade are trained in conflict resolution skills. And they will use those on the playground during our recesses to support any students that are having minor conflicts and really talk through a restorative process with them. We really want to nurture all aspects of the child. So our experiences are holistic, and we're looking at social, emotional, and moral growth. Of course, we want to constantly be thinking deeply and asking questions and wondering. Play is really important, and finding joy in our learning. Programs. So aside from our exceptional faculty, who I really have the honor of working with every day, and I've worked with many groups of people, and I would say this group of people who are teaching your children really have a really deep care about their work and about their students. We're making sure that following our strategic plan, we are focusing in our most recent years, maybe in the last 4 or 5 years, looking at place-based learning and doing that frequently through our project work all the way from kindergarten through 5th grade, and a culminating project in 5th grade, which we call capstone. And these projects happen in 5th, 8th, and 12th grade. So they're really culminating at the end of each division. And I know our 2 students, Zach and Rosie, will share more information about those. Our literacy program, really we do a workshop model. So we do a writers and workshop. And our mathematics is, we use everyday mathematics as our core program, which is scaffolding every year, kindergarten through 5th grade. And then something that we can really say helps us stand out are our specialist classes, and I will talk about those in a moment. And then we have an after-school program for those families who are not able to pick their students up straight after school. And that's a rich program that does a couple of things. So it will support students after school, just with a little bit of play and space and maybe a little bit of homework. And we also have enrichment opportunities for them with different instructors. And that's ranged over the year from ballet to cheer to chess to robotics to yoga. And so we're really proud of that program as well. So here's kind of what a day looks like on the left-hand side of the screen there. And on the right-hand side, next to all those stars, they are all our specialist classes and all the opportunities that our students have to experience something a little bit different from the classroom. So we start our day usually with a morning start and some morning meetings. For K2, we'll have a literacy block that normally runs from 8 to 10. And during that time for kindergarten through 2nd grade, we don't hold specialist classes, so that can be a real focus on literacy acquisition. And then we have in grades 3 through 5, they do the same, but they may also have a specialist class somewhere in there between 8 and 10. We have a 15-minute recess where the students have snack. Then we have a block that's about an hour long, and for many classes they use that as their mathematics block, or their specialist classes again at that time. Lunch and recess, a total of 60 minutes, and then the afternoon program can be literacy, project learning, and again specialist classes. So those specialist classes, our children will mostly go to those classrooms. We have a great art studio for visual arts. Our music and performing arts teacher has her own space as well. Visual arts we have once a week. Music and performing arts twice a week for every grade, and these classes are an hour long normally. PE and health 3 times a week, and library classes once a week, Hawaiian studies once a week, gardening kind of once every other week, and they switch with counseling, which is really a social emotional learning class. And then we have learning support, and Joe, our teacher, will be speaking to that a little bit. That's not usually where students go. Like, it's not normally a class that Joe would teach. And the same for the educational technologists. They're more as support for students as needed, support for teachers. This year, of course, with COVID, our schedule has been quite a bit different in that we are teaching in cohorts. So our classes kind of split in half at the beginning of the day, and half of them will be with the grade level teacher. The other half will be with specialists. And then they flip in the afternoon. So the cohort who was with the teacher then goes to specialists. The specialist ones go with the teacher. it's been rather exhausting for the teachers this year with that schedule, but we feel very blessed to have been able to be in school, in person, and following some really clear safety protocols. And our students have not missed a beat in terms of wearing their masks, sanitizing before they come into classrooms, lots of hand washing. So we've had very supportive students. They're much easier to wear a mask constantly than some of the adults, but that's great. So really, and these are just some shots of different after school activities we've had. And thank you very much for listening. I wonder if there were any questions, Jackie. Jackie, were there any questions? You're on mute.
Sorry. I'll take myself off mute. So I don't have any questions in at this time, so maybe, but we might have some for you at the end.
Yeah, so please, if you're, I know maybe I moved through that quickly, but if you have any questions, please pop them in the chat room. Would love to answer anything that you have in mind.
Great. Thank you so much. So, to our mission statement, that really did touch on all of the exceptional learning opportunities, as well as telling you a little bit about the community and the rhythm of the day and so much more. I know that one of the things that also, just to dovetail on what Kathy said, makes our community feel very special is that it is a very diverse community. Diverse in terms of culture, lifestyle, ethnicity, race, socioeconomic, learning styles, faiths, all sorts of families coming together, and it makes it such a beautiful place for sharing and learning about others. And I think that's something that we really strive to embrace and integrate into all that we do in the learning here. Oftentimes families are able to share. This year is a little different, obviously, with the protocols and being on campus. But there is lots of opportunities for families to share and tell their stories to the rest of the class and to the rest of the school in a way that helps us all become more educated and more inclusive and just a warmer spirit of aloha here at HPA. So the diversity within the community is what makes it also a very special place. As well as, honoring the traditions of Hawaii, which doesn't only come in the wonderful May Day program that will be happening soon. And that's something that some of our parents who wanted to join us today actually had to step away because they do have children going into the May Day program, and they're doing a lot of planning right now. But, there's some just wonderful grounded values that come from the Hawaiian tradition that we are able to integrate into everyday learning here at HPA. And I think that also really comes to life. It's not, we really walk the walk and use that as a measuring tool as to how we're doing as a community. And I know Kathy has some very special things that she's worked on as well, with like restorative practices and just always looking at ways that we can improve our thinking and how we're developing the students beyond the academics in they're striving to become wonderful, well-rounded people. So I want to go ahead and introduce Joe Ludis. He is here representing our faculty, and he is our learning specialist in the K-8 program, so that's the entire Village campus. And he can talk to you a little bit about what he does and his experience as an HPA faculty.
Thank you so much. Aloha, everyone. This is my second year at HPA in this position, and it's just been a wonderful experience as both faculty and as a parent. I have a son who's in the 6th grade, and from both sides, I'm just loving being here. As both Jackie and Kathy have mentioned, we do have a very diverse learning community here, and that comes with students with learning differences. And we're a strength-based school, and so we really focus on all the individual strengths that those students bring to the table. And I think so much of the components that Kathy highlighted in the slides really speak to that. All the fantastic specials that the kids get to take part in, it really just gives every kid an opportunity to shine in their own way. And the capstone, like Zach and Rosie will tell you guys about in a few moments, like just this amazing opportunity for students to focus on their strengths and bring their passions to what they do. And it's just a really great learning community for those reasons. And so my job is kind of part faculty and sort of part one of the coordinators for the student support teams. And so, as Kathy mentioned, this year I'm actually working in the classroom. I have my own special that I'm working with students on this year, and that was a little bit of a schedule shift. But typically, what I would do is work with the teachers, parents, students, and sometimes outside resources, such as maybe a speech and language therapist or an occupational therapist or pediatrician, to make sure that all the students' learning needs are being met within the school. And so I will meet with teachers regularly to talk about how students are doing in the classroom, to see if there's any kinds of interventions that are needed, any accommodations that need to be put in place to help those students perform at their highest and at their best. I'm also kind of a go-between, like I might talk to a specialist where a student is really doing amazing in gardening, and I want to figure out like, okay, well, what is that? How do we capture that and transfer that over to mathematics or something of that nature, and try to be that person who can communicate between the different teachers to find that way to get the kids to operate at their highest levels in all the different settings. And so I also try to, as best I can, find out resources that are available in the community. And that might be tutoring if students are needing a tutor or a therapist, like I mentioned before. It might be special programs over the summer or just outside of school, to try to connect families with those and maintain open lines of communication so that we can support those students with their needs in the school, and then connect them with whatever resources they're using outside the school to just maximize the efficiencies of those supports that they're getting. We also, in our student support teams, we may outline like just special interventions a student might need at a certain time, maybe working with a small group on a certain targeted skill to try to really push them to the next level. Sometimes that might be meeting one-on-one with me. I do have students that I meet for small periods of time just to kind of jump in and give a targeted support to. And then we also may have accommodations that a certain student might need. Maybe they need extra time on some assignments. Maybe they need to preview some information before they're put on the spot in the classroom to talk about it. And so sometimes those things we will put into a learning plan and share that with the teachers so that they're all aware of how to best support that student in all the different settings. I think it covers the basis for me. I can stop there and see if there's any specific questions on that.
Thanks, Joe. If we don't have any questions, maybe one other thing, I don't know if you could maybe touch on, is like professional development that you folks get as faculty at HPA to help you constantly be looking at what's out there and what's the latest research or what tools are available to you. Is that something you could just touch on briefly?
Yeah, and I can say, I've worked in public schools and I've worked for educational nonprofits, and then here, and one of the things that's so great about here is we actually have, first we have a budget for professional development, so that has not been the case at a lot of places that I've been, and we have a lot of autonomy around kind of finding, well, our administrators are constantly going out and finding really good opportunities for us and saying, hey, these are great things that we have seen. So we meet regularly as a staff, and so Kathy and Glenn, our middle school principal, are always finding opportunities so that we can, we're aware of what's out there, but we're also able to go out on our own and find things that sort of fit with our different areas of specialization and pursue those. And that's just a fantastic opportunity. And then to have the budget behind it to actually go out and pursue those things is phenomenal. And then we're able to come back and present those to staff, either in staff meetings. We also have designated days throughout the year where we have, we have professional development days, so students aren't in school, and then we'll often earmark time. We'll really have an opportunity to spotlight some special professional developments that teachers have received that they're really excited to share with the broader faculty. And oftentimes that can be K through 12, which is another really great opportunity for the Village campus to connect with the upper campus. And because sometimes those opportunities are very general and universal, and the things that they're learning at the upper campus are really applicable to us as well. And so I'm, as a faculty, I'm really happy about the ability to be able to pursue all that with the professional development aspect.
Thank you, Joe. Thanks so much for your time and for sharing. I don't think we have any questions specifically right now, so we'll see if any come up during the Q&A. I want to now move on to have our student representatives, who are our wonderful sixth graders who have actually been with us since kindergarten, both of them, share with you a little bit about their experience in lower school and how that prepared them for their life that they are now in middle school. So let's kick things off with Rosie Warner. Rosie, you there? You just have to unmute yourself.
Hi, I'm Rosie. I've been here since kindergarten. Now I'm in sixth grade. My lower school experience has been special because I really like the teacher support that they give to us. And I like how they take the time to really teach us. One of my favorite memories of lower school is meeting new kids like you guys at the end of the year. Looking forward for the next year to meet you guys. So a little bit about capstone. So you learn how to you learn research skills and you learn how to manage time. My capstone project in fifth grade, you had to base your capstone project around bees. So my capstone project was talking about how dogs, like when dogs get bee stings, and how to remove it and take care of it. Capstone prepares you for middle school to knowing how to manage your time and using the core values the school core values to go to middle school.
Thanks, Rosie. And what's been your favorite thing in middle school this year as a sixth grader? What is there to look forward to for the younger kids?
I really like the different teachers and the different subjects.
Nice, nice. Do you have a favorite memory from lower school? Any excursion or project or anything that you remember?
Oh yeah, in fourth grade you do a lot of excursions, and one of the excursions was you went on a fourth grade trip to a volcano for 2 days, and you got to sleep over with your friends and do fun hikes.
Thanks, Rosie. Thanks for sharing. And then up next we have Zach Montgomery, and Zach is also in sixth grade. Zach, you wanna?
Hi, I'm Zach. I have been here since kindergarten. I joined in fifth grade, and now I'm here in middle school in sixth grade, and I'm 11, about to be 12. So I think what made my lower school experience special was how we embraced all of Hawaiian's culture, and we got to really learn about that. And also me being here since kindergarten made it so that I could help other kids feel included. So then my favorite memory of lower school was when we got to when we get to do makahiki. It's really fun to kind of learn all sorts of different techniques and tricks and getting to play new games, especially this year being in middle school. We had to have we got to actually have a makahiki, but it had to be COVID safe, so we didn't really get to do as much as we could in a normal year. But I still got to throw spears, and we got to do a lot of different things that we normally would, just being COVID safe. And then my capstone was actually on hexagons and honeycombs. I've understood that this year it is you can choose whatever you'd like, but in 5th grade we got to do it on it has to be bee or pollinated related. So I chose to do mine on honeycomb, and it was really interesting learning all about different things that bees did to make their honeycomb. And it almost ties back to sustainability because they really had to be careful that they weren't using too much wax, and they had to find like the most efficient shape, which was a hexagon.
Did you, Zach, did you get the opportunity to interact with the bees or interact with any experts when you were researching and doing your capstone project?
We did. Uncle Staban, which is Miss Tarnis's husband, he knows a lot about bees, and he kind of taught us about bees. And we got to, there's actually a bee hive in 5th grade, or I'm not sure if there still is one this year. But if you ever want to take a break, you can go and look, and there's like little stools that you can stand up on, and you can look right into the beehive. And a few times we got to see the queen, so that was really special and fun.
And when you and Rosie were doing your capstones, what was the final stage? What did you guys do? Did you like create a poster or a video, or what did you do to like share all your learnings with your teacher and your peers and your families?
Yeah, we got to choose, like we could do like a board game, a video, a poster, as you were saying. I actually chose to do a board game, and it was a board game, but it had kind of interacted with the bees and the players. So like if you got this wrong, then something would be a consequence to your hive. And most of the questions were honeycomb related. So I really got to showcase my research with honeycomb in that way. And I actually had my grandma and my dad play it. So it was really fun.
Thanks, Zach. And what about you, Rosie? What was your final product? Or
interrupt for a moment so people are not too panicked. So when Zach says a hive in the classroom, it's a closed hive. So it's not an open hive, so the bees are not buzzing around. So it's a little closed hive, and the bees can go outside directly. I thought, ooh, maybe people might panic about that.
Yes. It is a closed hive. So Rosie, how did you showcase your learning at the end of your capstone project in 5th grade?
My final capstone project was making a little short movie, and I taught my family how to do it, like how to take care of the bee sting, and also showed it on my dogs. And that was good because we were actually online, so you couldn't really play a board game or do anything. So it was easier for my audience to see.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, good job. Thanks, Rosie. Thanks, Zach. Thank you both for sharing. You know, it's really nice to kind of hear how you guys have gone through the experience. I know you probably have so many memories and things that you did over the course of your K-5 years. It's probably hard to think of everything, but successfully you've now made it to 6th grade, and you're almost wrapping up your 6th grade year. So it's pretty exciting that you're moving on to 7th grade next year. And so with that, I wanted to invite one of our parent representatives to kind of share a little bit about their experience as well. It's kind of actually the parents that we have here have sort of multifaceted experiences as current parents, as parents of incoming kindergartners, and as spouses of HPA alumni. So both have those in common. But I wanted to invite Megan Peterson to share a little bit about her experience as a parent at HPA.
Hi. Hello. I'm Megan Peterson. This is Kaylin. She's coming in to kindergarten this year, and I have a 3rd grader moving on to 4th grade. Also, Kyla, and my husband went all the way to through high school. So we obviously love the school. It's just been a really nice experience. I am not an alumni, and when we had a scroll, Kaylin made a scroll, And anyhow, I'm not an alumni, but when I'm from Santa Barbara, and when my husband and I were trying to decide which beautiful place to live in, we're blessed to have those choices. We decided to come here. One of the main reasons was the school and the community, which kind of go hand in hand. So you're coming here, you're moving here. My husband's best friends with all the people he went to school with and grew up with. They're still best friends. They went on to start businesses together. They're still talking to each other. And so anyway, we came back to give that same gift of, you know, life and community to our kids. So that's just a short little story. Is there anything else you wanted me to talk about?
What is something that that you would share that has been I don't know, a growth experience that you've observed just in your time as a current parent, with you know, what you've seen or what you've experienced or seen for Kyla?
We've had a really positive experience with Kyla, and you know, she has a birthmark on her face, which is something that you could never, you know, going into another school, you might be concerned about. But the way that this school is designed is to support each other and to respect and honor each other. And, you know, it may seem like a silly thing, but she's almost never had a problem, and has always, if there's anything that's ever come up in this school, she feels so safe and so good and so confident that she goes to school every year, and all her classroom puts on a heart on their face to honor Birthmark Awareness Day every year, the whole class. And it's just such a nice feeling. You know, the education, of course, is important. They receive an excellent education. Kyla is thriving. And, but more than that, you know, the focus on creating a good whole human being is really what's important to us. So that's kind of the main thing is for me, is that my child goes to school and feels confident in herself. Because prior to that, she, you know, we would worry that she would go to school and feel scared or unsafe. She had terrible stage fright. That was another thing. And I started crying the first time I saw her go on stage for their performance they put on every year. And she not only went up there, she nailed it and had a blast, because it's just a whole support. Anyway, we've had a really good experience. I really enjoy the way that my kids are able to grow and learn and be their own person, but also be a part of this big family. What do you think about that, KK? Yeah, she's into art right now. So
what would you say Kyla's favorite specialist class is? Does she talk about that?
Oh, that's tough. Well, it's probably a three-way tie. She loves music. And we've been so lucky to have Miss Palakva that was there and taught my husband music, who went on to start a band, and they all started in Miss Palakva's class, which was amazing. So music and art, and then she loves the garden. The garden, they call it the nature kingdom. You know, anyway, that's hard. We could ask her. I tried to get her to come in here, but they're just having too much fun. But that's what she talks about most, I suppose. There's just all sorts of fun things. You know, what's interesting too, she talks about when they go to see Miss Beto.
When they go to see whom?
When they come to see Miss Beto, and that they learn how to conflict resolution. You know, as a kid, you think, I don't know, as a parent watching a child, you think, oh, maybe they're not going to be that interested in it, or who knows what, they're too young. She comes home and shows me those papers more than the other specialist papers, because she finds this, I think for her, that's something she needed, was a way to communicate and express feelings and resolve conflicts with her peers. So that's really exciting. It's something that I didn't get it when I was growing up. You know, let's learn how to resolve conflict. It was like, let's learn all the basics in academics. So that was really cool.
Nice. Thanks, Megan. Thanks so much for sharing.
Yeah, thank you. I think you're on mute.
Jackie, you're on mute. Jackie, you're on mute.
Thank you. I was saying, yeah, it sounds like you've had a lot of wonderful experiences, and we're really excited for KK to be joining kindergarten next year too. We'll bring it's full circle for your family. And then I don't know, I didn't really prepare you for this, but I don't know if Sarah, if you'd be up for saying a quick word about your experience as an HPA parent of one current student and one incoming student. Anything in particular that's been an exciting experience for you folks? What do you think?
Let's see, we might have to collaborate. Amelia, what do you think one of your most favorite experiences has been? There's so many.
Well, I like the time when in art we were making our clay sculptures.
What is that?
We were making clay sculptures in art, and I really liked that.
Was it the hippopotamus or the pinch pot? Oh, we've been hearing all about pinch pots, and it's true. It all sort of trickles down to confidence at home, you know, even just making a pinch pot and having her student peers comment on, you know, oh, that one is so cool. I wish I could do one like that, Amelia. And just hearing how they support each other, you know, is wonderful. Like when you get home and you're just chatting about school after school, and then, you know, knowing where she's interested, and then like what Mr. Ludis was saying, then knowing, hey, you know, that's something she's really into right now, and we can sort of branch out and work on those things at home. Yeah, there's so many things. It's hard to sort of pick. So that's one.
Well, we're excited to have your family here. Thanks for joining us, and sorry to put you on the spot, but
no problem. We're excited to have our youngest in kindergarten. So yay.
Yay.
Petersons, we're in the same class.
I know, I saw you on here. I got all excited.
Me too.
Well, we're going to have another parent join us who is going to share a little bit more about the Ohana Association, and that's something that I wanted to tell you a little bit more about. She couldn't make it on. She probably got caught up in something at work, but I did want to let you know that that is a wonderful way for families to get involved. And so it's basically the parent association. In a normal year, there are lots of ways to learn about what's available in the Parent Association program. A lot of it does get introduced to families at the beginning of the year when we have a welcome event. This year, obviously, things were a little bit different, but there are various activities and ways for parents to sign up, either in leadership roles or offering their talents and skills that can help put together events on campus, everything from trunk or treat during the Halloween holiday to decorating for different events and things on campus. Also reaching out to new families and trying to make connections and build bridges that way. In years past, we've had a wonderful drive-up coffee where parents could mingle and sip coffee and chat at the beginning of a school day after the kids headed off to classes. So there in a normal year, there have been various ways to kind of quickly integrate into the community, and then also find a way to put your time and energy into projects. So with this year being a little bit different, I'm not sure what next year holds, but I do think that this is a program that you should look forward to. And I know they'll try to create as many virtual opportunities as possible if we, you know, don't get people right back onto campus at the start, parents that is, engaged in activities. So so we'll put out more information about that to all of you, so you learn a bit more. Oh, I think our parent is joining. Maybe she'll want to say some specific anecdotes about her Ohana experience. Hi, Michelle. I think
Hey guys.
Hey, thanks for joining us. I was trying to just give a couple of words on the Ohana Association, and share that is an opportunity for parents to volunteer time and get involved. But as an active member of Ohana Association, I thought maybe you would actually be the more articulate one, since it's been
I don't know about that.
since I've spent time in that with that hat on.
Great. Well, hi everybody. Glad to see you here. So I help with the Ohana Association, which is basically our version of parent-teacher organization that you'll find in other schools. And it's actually a really great way to stay in touch with what's going on at the school, event-wise, meet new parents, and be able to just lend a helping hand. We're really excited. Things that we plan are, for example, like holiday events. We weren't able to do a whole lot in COVID, but with some great ideas from other parents, we were able to come up with a nice way to still help campus and provide Christmas wreaths to all the teachers in the classrooms that they got to then take home as a nice gift. We're working on teacher appreciation, just a little something to let the teachers know how thankful we are for having our kids in school every day, and then especially during these COVID times. We get to participate and help with the upcoming May Day festivities. So we're really excited about that. And then other just smaller things like having coffee together and helping classrooms get together and have kids be able to meet and parents get to know each other. The Ohana Association also helps with community, connecting the families that are new here with not just your community of other parents at school, but the community at large. So other events that are going on. Apparently, Jordan likes to say hi. Jordan's a first grader at HPA, which she loves. Hi. Yeah, do you like being at school? Yeah, she's really happy to be there. So those are just, a few things that we do, and looking forward to a new school year and having more parent involvement as COVID starts to get a little bit more behind us.
Thanks, Michelle. Thanks so much for sharing. Well, I'm glad you could join us. I know you're busy, but I wanted to thank all of our panelists and especially our students for being so brave and coming on here and representing very well. And I just wanted to open it up to parents, anybody that might want to ask a question of our panelists that we have here. You are welcome to put it in the chat, and we can ask somebody, the appropriate person, to answer your question. Or if you don't want to put your questions out here right now, we can always, you can get in touch with me offline and I can answer them, or I can get somebody else to get you the answers that you're looking for. And I do want to just thank you all. I know there's a lot to learn about HPA. It's really hard to summarize it and put it all into words. A lot of it is the feeling that you get when you step onto campus and your children step into the classrooms, which you will all get in the fall. And as some of the parents alluded to, it's also when you see your child up on stage and they're performing and they're showing confidence beyond your wildest dreams. Those are all very special experiences that you can only get by being here and feeling it. So we look forward to having you all join us on campus in the fall. Our goal, of course, is to maintain this wonderful health and safety of our community. So thank you for bearing witness and being patient with us as we weren't able to bring you to campus this year, but having faith in our program and our faculty and being able to, commit to this wonderful school for next year. Thank you all. And like I said, I'll look forward to connecting with you if you have other questions, and you'll get more communications from different parts of our school in the coming weeks and months leading up to our first day of school in August. So thanks everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day and evening. Aloha.